Hey guys, this is Michael Epifanio, and welcome to the Cookbook Project. I want to take you on a ride that started in the early 1900s when my grandfather came over from Naples, Italy. In the 1950s, he opened up an Italian restaurant in Queens, New York. And when I was 10 years old, I got my shot at working in the kitchen by standing on a milk crate. That's where my love affair of food began. I want to be able to take these recipes and share them with you. They've never been published before. They're all in my head. I hope that you're going to love these recipes enough to purchase the book live on this TV show at the end of our series. I'll see you in the kitchen. My grandfather was born in Naples, Italy. He grew up on a farm. And every day, when the farm workers would work the field and come back in for lunch, they would prepare a pasta dish, a meat, and a vegetable. After lunch, all of the leftovers were never thrown away. The next day, they would take the pasta, the meat, and the vegetables, get a hot skillet, and saute the pasta with the vegetables and the meat. They would saute it until it got crispy and caramelized. And then they would top it with some great cheeses like provolone, parmesan, and mozzarella. This dish was born in Italy and arrived in New York in the 50s. The dish is called fried ziti or peasant pasta. This dish was famous at my grandfather's restaurant. People would travel for hundreds of miles to taste this dish. We're going to share it with you. This is our first recipe in the series, and I know you're going to love it. And we're going to start by first prepping our items. Well, first thing you have to do is make sure you have a sharp knife. And a lot of people don't know how to sharpen a knife. You see this? You see this? Well, the right way to do it is down on a 45-degree angle. Just gentle, quick, easy strokes, and that's it. We start with an onion. Now you got to be careful when you're actually peeling the onion this way, but this is the best way to get the skin off, is you use your knife as a tool, just like a Swiss Army knife. It's got multiple functions. One of the functions is to peel an onion, like so. So once we get the onion peeled, we're going to slice, and we're going to do it like this. Nice and easy. You want to get a rough chop. Doesn't have to be fancy, doesn't have to be even. All it has to be is roughly chopped. I'm going to use one whole onion. Get rid of that one. There we go, roughly chopped. Garlic, our next ingredient. Garlic is the essence of Italian cooking. Here's a quick way to peel garlic. You take it, use your base of your knife, again, your Swiss Army tool, and you push down. And the skin just comes off very easily. So I've got 3 cloves of garlic here, and I've got an onion. Now you'll notice on the garlic, you've got this knob, this kind of bitter piece on the end. You want to cut that off. That's actually where the garlic grows in the ground. And we're going to pull that off. And again, these are going to be rough chops. So I've got 3 cloves of garlic, roughly chopped. There we go, onions and garlic. Next, we've got a pound and a half of ziti. Now here's the thing about the ziti. The reason why this dish is called a peasant pasta, my grandfather grew up on a farm in Italy, and they were really good stewards of the food that they had. So they would prepare a meal for the farm workers for lunch, and then the food that was left over, they would cook it the next day and make a, we call it like a jambot, where they mixed everything together. But in this case, they would take the pasta or any meats and vegetables that they had left over, and they would take their pasta, which is actually cold and easily manipulated because it is cold, and they would chop it up coarsely, just like this. And this would be a meal for the next day. So picture this, you have leftover pasta, you're cutting it up roughly, just like this, okay? And you're going to combine that with a bunch of ingredients, onions, garlic, pasta. I've got some sausage here, and The key ingredient here, scallions. Scallions is in the onion family, right? It's a green onion. But scallion has a real sweetness to it, and it has just a great flavor. And when you combine it with onions and garlic, you've got a classic combination. So here we go. This is about a bunch to 2 bunches of scallions. So that's our scallion, that's our garlic, and that's our onion. Next, I'm going to take my ziti, I'm going to put it back in my bowl here, getting ready for cooking. So basically I took Italian sweet sausage, roasted it in the oven, 375, drizzled it with some olive oil, ate a little salt and pepper, and then baked it until it was golden brown, like so. So I'm going to take that, again, rough chop. Nothing precise here, I just want to get the flavor, right? That's one. I'm going to use 2 sausages for this dish. Okay. So there's my sausage. I'm going to put that off to the side. Next, the herbs, the flavor. Fresh basil from my garden and Italian parsley. Not the curly stuff, but the Italian parsley. Italian parsley is flat leaf parsley, it's called. So I'm just going to take my basil, pull it off the stem, just like this. I've already washed this, and it's been drying. Okay, get rid of that. And again, I'm going to dice and chop these herbs up, which are going to be part of our dish. It's going to add flavor. It's going to give us just an incredible aroma. Look at this. We got our hot oil and butter, adding my scallions and my onions and my garlic. Right? I'm going to put this off to the side. Okay. We're going to mix. Get that all sauteed. We want to get some flavor developed there before we add our pasta. I like to add, at this stage, a little bit of salt. And the key is when you season, you want to layer your seasoning. You add onions and garlic and scallions, add some salt, add a little pepper. I'm going to add it right now. That's actually a little oregano. I'm going to put a little fresh pepper in here. And then when I add my ziti, I'm going to layer it again. I'm going to add a little bit more salt, a little more pepper, and a little oregano. And at the end, I'm going to add my fresh herbs because I don't want the fresh herbs to really get cooked out. I want them to remain vibrant and retain some of their color. All right. So that's just about right. I'm going to reach back here. And we got our pasta, which is our ziti. That's been coarsely chopped. I'm going to add that. Okay. And at this point, I want to get all those flavors together. I mean, look at that. I mean, it looks good enough to eat just as it is right now. And here's our fried ziti in the making. Okay, that's about right. And again, we're going to layer some flavors again. We're going to add some seasoning. A little salt. I'm going to get some fresh cracked pepper. Don't be afraid. You know, just do it to taste. You know, cooking's all about really feeling. It's not necessarily about a recipe. It's really about understanding flavors. And the key is to taste as you go. You want to make sure you have enough seasoning and you have enough flavor. I'm not going to taste it yet because I'm not ready to do that. Okay. So we're at a point right now where we're getting the caramelization we're looking for. Look at that, huh? That's gorgeous. All right, I'll get a close-up here. That's what you want. You want a little bit of brown. You want a little bit of crunchiness. You know, cooking for me, not just about eating. You know, eating is part of it, right? But it's about everything that surrounds the experience. It's about family, it's about friends, it's about fellowship, and it's about community. It's a bridge to bring people together, and it's a way that we can really satisfy our friends and create instant happiness. No matter how bad things are going, you come home to a nice meal, things simply kind of fade away. Your problems fade away, and all you're focusing on is that delicious meal. Okay, look at that. I'm going to add my sausage now because I've got enough roundness here. See that? Okay. Now, you could also add to this, if you didn't want sausage, you're a vegetarian, saute some mushrooms. Get some spinach. Or in my case, I love escarole or escarole, which is a bitter green. It's a lettuce that's classic in Neapolitan cooking, and we use that sometimes in our fried ziti at the restaurant. We had a number of different fried ziti dishes. One with sausage, one with pepperoni, one with escarole, one with mushrooms, or you can have everything together because it really doesn't make a difference. You can figure out what you like and then add it to your fried ziti. Okay, right there, I'm ready to add my sauce, okay? I'm going to take 1 ladle, that's about 4 ounces of sauce, and that's about a half a cup right there. All right, now listen to that. That's the sizzle we're looking for. Hear that? All right, here we go. Just get a look at that. I mean, right there. I mean, that's what we want. We've got flavor, we've got caramelization, all of the ingredients have kind of melted together. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to shut my stove off. I'm going to take my fresh herbs and I'm going to fold them right in. See that? Now I didn't cook them as I was sauteing the pasta because when you're dealing with fresh herbs, unlike dry herbs, fresh herbs you always want to add typically at the end because you want them to remain vibrant in terms of their color, and also you don't want the flavor to be totally cooked out. This is mozzarella that I bought in a package. This is critical. You don't want to buy that shredded mozzarella that's in a bag already, because what happens is when you shred it and you put it in a bag, it loses all its moisture. If you can get a close-up here on the camera, look at the shine there. It still has all its oils. And that's the key to a great fried ziti, is having fresh cheese that has still the oils. And I also have an old-fashioned grater. And what we're going to do is going to grate the cheese right over the top. Okay? I'm going to take the rest, kind of dice it up. And I kind of like some of the chunks of mozzarella where, you know, it's not totally melted, but it has a little bit of body left to it after it bakes. And that's what I'm doing here. And we are just about done with the Peasant dish. This comes all the way from Italy, and then it went to Queens, and now it's in Waxhaw, North Carolina. So this fried ziti has had quite a life, quite a journey. All right, this is Asiago cheese, freshly grated. I'm going to take that, pour that over the top. We'll sprinkle it over the top. Look at this, huh? Isn't this gorgeous? I mean, this is a fried ziti ready to go in the oven. This is our one frying pan or one die. Look at that. Now, I cooked mine a little bit longer. I like mine to be a little bit crispy on top. I like the crunchiness. Most important part, before you serve it to your guests, make sure you taste it, because you can still adjust it. Let me tell you, I've been making this dish for 30 some odd years, and there's no way that this needs any adjustment. I'm going to get a piece of sausage, some cheese, and just look at that gorgeousness, huh? Crispy and flavorful. Incredible. Man, nothing like it. And I know you're going to love it. As we say in Italian, salute e 100 anni.
Salute!
Great food, great friends. This is great. Great fellowship.
I can see you all afternoon. Good, Anna?
This is good.
Thank you so much.
Don't forget the salad. Get that salad we can put in the same bowl.
That's how I like it. I like it all mixed together.
All mixed together. Call that a jump up in Italian. Everything mixed.
Sounds what?
It all goes into the same place anyway.
So this is arugula?